We just flew Lufthansa Business Class from Denver to Munich with the family, and along the way, we learned a few things that made a difference to our flight experience. Whether it's your first time up front or you're a seasoned flyer, keep watching for 5 tips that'll help you get the most out of the business class on Lufthansa.
Boarding was a breeze, and I loved being able to walk upstairs to our seats. We opted to get settled in and wait to film anything until we got into the air. Let's show you around.
Okay, we'll start things off by talking about the seat that we have here. I think this plane, it's safe to say, is a little old, just based on some of the initial things that we're seeing here, but I'll talk about everything I see. So, the corner here, they do have a couple USB chargers, but it doesn't really sit as a pocket. It's interesting, you can't really hold stuff there and charge it. It's still useful to have the chargers nearby. And then there's a little pocket for the headphones, but the headphones are very small and skinny, maybe intentionally made just to fit in this pocket. All the seat functions actually work super nice. It's very smooth, easy, and I like that it has a lot of different points that you can adjust, and then you can go straight to bed, lounging, or sitting straight up.
Also, just interrupting to say that I feel like my seat did move multiple times, like Phantom wasn't touching the buttons. I don't know.
Yeah, that thing doesn't close over there. There's like a headphone wire stuck in the other armrest.
My table got stuck.
It's interesting.
That's my bonus tip, is book a flight on a new airplane.
There is a lot of storage here at the feet. There's 1, 2, 3, there's at least 4 cubbies that hold various things, and including the menus, and then obviously you have the footwell, and then under the footwell storage as well. Our backpacks are far too big, but I think a regular backpack would fit in there just fine.
My favorite thing about sitting next to the window is that there are these 2 huge cubbies that hold like everything in our backpack, which is pretty awesome.
And I think that is what we're going to hit you with on tip number 1, which is if you're a couple, I would definitely sit on the window side, since you don't have to worry really about climbing over each other or the awkwardness of that. I think there's no issue, and there's a lot more storage and even a little bit more privacy over here. If you're solo, definitely go for the middle, because then you don't have to worry about climbing over somebody when they're sleeping.
One other thing, I would avoid the bulkhead unless you're trying to get the bassinet seat, because they're in and out of their little area constantly, and there's staff cabinets here too that they constantly open to have lights on, so if you're trying to sleep, it's a little bit disruptive.
They just came up and set up the bassinet. That's going to bring up tip number 2, which is if you are flying with a baby up to 11 kilograms, I think, Jordan's cutting it a little close, you should definitely get a bassinet seat, because it is so nice to have somewhere where he can rest. So hopefully he gets some sleep there while we're here. But it's 21K and H for us, and I'm assuming A and C as well. And then this can't be the only one. It's a huge business class cabin, so I'm imagining there's others, but just be sure you call ahead and not only request these seats, but also that they have a bassinet, because I think it's really going to help on a long haul flight for Jordan to get some rest. All right, let me talk real quick about the entertainment system. And even as I'm navigating this, I got to hit you with another tip, which is I think you want to download the Lufthansa app. That is going to help you to actually control this from your phone. I mean, you have a remote here in the armrest, but it's kind of like old heavy click style, and it works, but it's not as good as if you download the app. And the touchscreen, again, old plane, this thing is in rough shape, so I have to press every button like 4 times just to get somewhere. The movie selection and everything is very good though. They have games, they have TV shows, so like overall your options to watch things is just fine, but it's just a little bit older with the touches and everything. So download, pair the app, and that will help you to have a little bit better experience. Pretty quickly after dinner they turned the lights off, and so now I think it's time to test out the bed. And that brings us to our next tip, which is what I would say is to plan on sleeping. The bed here is very long. There's a lot of space. They provide some really nice blankets and pillows. So I think using the business class flight to like arrive rested, definitely a strategy I would recommend. Gonna give Jordan another go in the bassinet. We'll see how this goes. After about 3 hours of Jordan just climbing back and forth, refusing to go to bed, we finally laid down. I would say that the bed was very comfortable. Again, there's plenty of length, and that's usually at about 5'11". Sometimes a challenge for me, and the footwell didn't have any issues squeezing my legs into there or anything, so the bed was comfortable. Lots of options again, so I think that remains a good tip, is to plan for the overnight, plan for some rest. All right, and we should be starting breakfast soon.
When we first got on board, they brought us menus that had all of the different options we were going to have on this flight. And right after we took off, pretty shortly, they started the dinner service, and they had some pretty good options. They had a beef, a fish, and a vegetarian pasta option for the mains. And then they had some different appetizers and a few different desserts, but overall it was really good. They don't really have any snacks. I feel like a lot of times on business class overnight they'll have snacks kind of in their little main cabin area, but there was nothing set up. They just had water and juice available. But then now we probably have about 2 hours left before we land, and they're serving us breakfast. So there was an egg or a cold oats option with fruit. The eggs did not look that appetizing, but they actually were, so that's really nice. Whenever it's time for meal service, they give you a nice little tablecloth here. You have like a tray and then some glass plates and everything, so it's a good presentation. Overall, I would say the food is good. I don't think it's the best I've ever had on an airplane, but I'm not complaining.
The last tip I was going to say is just that if you need anything, you should definitely ask, because the staff are so nice and helpful, and especially with Jordan. But I think what we've just seen across the cabin is that they're super helpful.
And they do have some nice little touches. They just brought us little boxes of chocolate, which is so sweet. So we're going to enjoy those for sure.
And that is going to wrap up the 9.5 hours we had on our Lufthansa flight, and quite relaxing. Feeling ready to go for our adventure here in Europe.
It's always nice to be back in business class, so we thoroughly enjoyed it and are looking forward to business class on the way back home. But first, we're going to enjoy Europe. We are visiting Austria, Albania, and Turkey, so be sure to subscribe and follow along.